Hello, welcome to this very special edition of GTA 5 O'Clock. We're looking at all the trailers that have just popped online. I'm Tim Weaver. I'm here with our expert, Dan Dawkins. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
So this is Trevor's trailer. You can also see Michael's trailer and Franklin's trailer by clicking on the links on this screen now. Dan, let's kick it off with the crazy-eyed nutjob that is Trevor.
Yep, it's Trevor. Let's be honest, for loads of people, pretty much everyone, this is the best trailer because he's the most completely unhinged.
He's certainly the funniest and has the funniest lines in the of all the trailers. Okay, Trevor howling at the moon, Dan.
Yeah, he's crazy, like some kind of pig or dog, or could it be a wolf?
Or a wolf.
Yeah, like a wolf.
Yeah.
Howling at the moon.
Okay, so the trailer sort of has a vague chronology to it, Dan. He starts off in this sort of sticks in this meth lab, and we'll work through to where he ends up at the end.
Yeah, any fan of Breaking Bad or indeed a real-life meth-creating criminal would recognise this apparatus as being meth lab equipment, and his den is decorated in the style of a meth man.
Got a nice view, though, in fairness.
Yeah, nice view, awful house. This is Sandy Shores, population of, what's that?
3,010, I think that says.
3,010, not very many people.
Nice sort of idea of what this place looks like. They've really nailed the kind of vibe of this sort of downtrodden kind of settlement just outside in the desert, haven't they?
Yeah, say like moving out towards Blaine County, like out in the sticks, you can see a guy towing a generator. In fact, you can see behind... There's one of the caravans with the satellite dish, which I think we've seen in previous screenshots. Okay.
Here he is, scar on his stomach. Dan, we haven't quite been able to work out what he says here. It sounds like might be coffee or it might be cock.
I think he said, can you get my cock block? Now, I've got a cock block, but I don't know if other people have.
All right.
No, I can't tell what it is. I mean, what I can tell is that Trevor's got like a wicked scar.
Yeah, he has got a good scar. Also, crazy ass jacket in the back there. It looks like it's got a reflecting shoulder on it.
Yeah, got a reflecting shoulder, and he's got like a selection of outfits. And in fact, the one on the left we've seen in previous trailers and screens.
Dan, just pausing on that though, with the clothes in a wardrobe. Could that be for effect, or might you be able to change your clothes?
I would predict that would say clothes changing. Let's find out.
Okay. Bang. Dan, he smashed someone in the face with a baseball bat, but what can we see on the back of this guy's hoodie?
Well, this is the thing. You can just about make it out here, and this is proved beyond doubt later on. The guy's hoodie says The Lost, and it's The Lost, like MC, Los Santos. It says MC as well, so that's going to link that guy to the gang from The Lost and Damned from the DLC chapters of GTA 4, and like that was a seriously badass chapter with some great music. But it looks like Trevor's got a beef with that particular gang. I guess it's probably over the control of the meth, let's be quite honest.
In the background, a nice tractor. You can
high performance sports tractor
presumably jump in. Gives you an idea of the variety of vehicles in here though. Okay, so Michael arrives in town. Dan, who's that guy on the right there? Do we know?
That's interesting. And in fact, in the Rush casting call, there's many characters who were like friends with who we can only presume is Trevor. And perhaps we can discuss this at more length at another date. But I think that character is significant and will become more so as things develop. Trevor's giving Michael a big old hug. I think he's clearly glad to see him, so they clearly do know each other.
Yeah.
In fact, we know that because they have done bank jobs together previously, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a relationship before, yeah.
Okay, Trevor enters like one of these old... What do you describe these planes
as? Biplane.
Biplane.
Takes the biplane, but he seems to be taking the biplane, and I'm just guessing here, he seems to be taking the biplane from his place out in the sticks to the city, and that's why I say it's got a vague chronology to it, because it starts off with Michael coming to see him out in the sticks, and then suddenly Trevor's taking a journey back into the town, and here his first act is to choke a pensioner out.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's the worst job in the world. Salvation Army in Beverly Hills. Don't knock on Trevor's door. You're up for a choking. It's an absolute disaster. So you're fresh off the tractor straight into Beverly Hills, chokes a man out. There's some jokes there possibly. It's again, what it shows is it's like a funny scene. Like there's a sense of humour about it. Like it's a hilarious scene of a nutcase choking pensioner. But do you know what I mean? Like, come on, it's like
ridiculous. Isn't
it's OTT. The woman smacking him with the bag. It's all pretty funny. Here again is Trevor hanging out with one of his buddies by flipping him onto the floor and electrocuting his nipples.
Nice watch.
Yeah.
A nice sort of throwback to the 80s or 90s, Dan, were they? I can't remember.
God, I'd say that's more like late 80s, early 90s.
Sort of one of those calculator watches.
Now, he seems completely throwaway. He's wearing an old watch, but I sort of wonder if, like, the fact that he's kind of trapped in the 80s, he's like a character who some stuff's happened to him, and like, for whatever reason he's sort of trapped back in time a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. He might be trapped at a point in his past where he maybe feels attached to his life then, which presumably would have been in and around Michael, and actually we're almost getting onto something about that in a second. Yeah,
well, this is it. Well, Michael's greeting Trevor here, like, because he hasn't, like, he's just got into town, basically, isn't he? Trevor's saying, like, I'm new here. Looks like I'm going to meet loads of, interesting people.
I'm making
and that kind
friends, of like, all that sort of stuff.
But it's pretty clear that, they know each other.
Yeah.
And he's just arrived in town, and we know from, like, Rockstar's previous material, they've done bank jobs together, and I think you've got to almost examine, like, to what depth their relationship goes, and we'll properly study this with a phrase that comes later on. Okay. I thought that was quite fun. You see Trevor punching out a guy who's wearing almost like
triathlon gear.
Yeah, like triathlon gear, which again we've talked about triathlon possibly being one of the events or some of the off main mission activities you can perform. Trevor, I guess, showing off a range of what will probably be the combat moves, and a classic, literally Grand Theft Auto carjacking.
Yeah. Okay, so Michael at home with Amanda.
Yeah.
And Amanda doesn't seem too keen about having Trevor around. In one of the other videos, I think it was in the Michael video, which you can also watch here on this channel, I talked about the weird paintings in this house, and there's one up in the left-hand side there. Looks like Andrew Lloyd Webber and someone else.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, because I don't know necessarily who those characters in the painting are. Like, it could kind of be Amanda, the person on the left, but that doesn't really look like Michael, unless he had, at some stage, he was fatter and had a big comb over to look like Andrew Lloyd Webber. So currently they feel like kind of a mystery to me, whether they're family or that was them in a previous time and place. What we do know is that Michael has been relocated out to sort of Vinewood as part of a witness relocation program in a sort of sweetheart deal where he's got a load of cash with it.
Yeah, he lives in Rockwell Hills, doesn't he? Where all the poshos live. So he's got loads of money out of it. So.
And again, this sort of out of frame, but you can see a few more pictures of sort of family bliss in the background on the left on the mantelpiece. Okay,
this is sort of Trevor is most honest, Dan.
Yeah, Trevor striking a blow on behalf of all pro-feminist journalists here by ogling a woman's fake breasts. Well done, Trevor.
And telling her how great they look.
Yeah. And again, you can see there, that's Amanda probably moments after the scene where we're doing yoga in Michael's scene.
Take a good look, Dan, on this storm drain scene of the water down there. Beautiful water. We'll be talking more about that on Thursday at 5 o'clock in our extra special episode where we've seen the game and we can talk about it. Yeah,
it also here, it looks like, Trevor's wearing a big dirty pair of pants and he's nude for some reason. It's like a giant man nappy. It's just a pair of pants, isn't it? Again, we can see him reloading his shotgun. Significant moment alert. You can see in the background pretty clearly like a gang sign for the lost MC chapter. Yeah. So it's basically like
the West Coast kind of chapter of the Lost. Yeah,
it's the Los Santos version of the Lost, and you can see even here, if the references weren't clear enough, like this big fat 4x4 is running over a bike which looks like the kind of Harley Davidson style bike that gang would be driving.
Yeah. Wind farm in the background, satellite dishes. This sort of underlines what a weird kind of place this is out in the sticks. Dan, that scene there is quite significant.
Yeah, this is interesting because he says, where is it now? He talks about suffering abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Now this ties into the idea of, he's wearing the 80s watch because he's kind of trapped in a better moment in time. These two clearly know each other, which we know. Now, riffing back to the Rush casting call, which is like a proper Hollywood casting call they did for GTA 5, codename Project Rush, last year, and we've talked about this extensively on the show. There were two characters who were cast separately from the main cast, who I think were, what were they? Albert and
was it the guy Albert and Simon
De Silva, the two De Silva brothers, and like one of them was an absolute verbatim description of Michael, like a guy in his 40s, 50s, retired, gone out, and the other guy sounded like he was like a nutcase and lived out in the sticks, so he was like an absolute spit for who Trevor is. Now, in the casting call, both characters were like surnamed De Silva, so it sounds like they were meant to be family.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that obviously we know these characters here as Trevor and Michael, but we don't really know their second name connection. But it could be that as part of witness relocation, that Michael has had to change his actual name, and this pair, that they could be family. And the abandonment issues might be because Trevor's had to be away for a long time because of the relocation program, away from his brother and or cousin or whoever he is.
Yeah, I mean, this was a theory we floated, I don't know how many weeks ago, maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago, and nothing in this video we're seeing today destroys that theory at all. In fact, in a lot of ways, it kind of brings that theory kind of together. The fact that they're apart. Michael goes to see Trevor because he wants back into the kind of criminal life. They had this history where they did jobs together, maybe as brothers.
Yeah.
Michael goes to see him, says, "I want to get back into the life." Trevor says, "Okay, fine." Follows him back to the city. Everything we're seeing now in the trailer backs it up. And now he talks about abandonment issues, and that again plays into the fact that maybe they're brothers, and maybe as part of Michael's witness relocation package, Trevor was a part of that.
Yep. Okay, and we've seen a bit more excitement leaning on the back of a plane, letting go with a assault rifle, and using the deadliest weapon in the game, hand pistols.
Yeah. Beautiful kind of desert background there, Dan. Really gives you an idea of the sort of diversity of the locations.
Yeah. Okay, and then we're finishing off by returning to another iconic part of the first trailer, with the Mile High Club, the building under construction, echoing the game's themes of like recession, poverty, construction. You
can actually see down by the rubbish bins, right in the centre of your shot here, down at the bottom, there's a man just sitting next to the rubbish bins.
Yeah, and now we see Trevor. Well, this is pretty harsh on the guy who's going to land pretty hardly. It throws a guy out of a chopper. The chopper again has got at the front what looks like a police surveillance camera, sort of police camera, action camera.
Just on this shot here, Dan, you see like there's a water butt, kind of water, I don't know what you call it, water tower thing here. Remember how in previous shots of we've seen of the game, there was a water kind of butt in the background when they were taking the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
Now whether it might be a completely different one, but just interesting to note.
Carbite's the big one. Okay, this is worth mentioning. This guy with the face paint is pretty clearly a little riff on the Juggalos, who in real life are the fans of the Insane Clown Posse, or like people who are linked to Psychopathic Records hip hop group. And in America, these people are have got actual gang status.
Right.
So again,
so you think it could be one of the gangs of the game.
Could be one of the gangs in the game. Could just be a little riff at that. Again, not sure who this dude is. Maybe he's Chad, who we mentioned in a previous thing, but he doesn't really look like a proper LA party boy, I don't know.
And that's it, Dan. So that was Trevor's trailer. You can see our analysis of Michael's trailer and Franklin's trailer by clicking on the links here. Dan, what have we got for people on Thursday?
Yeah, we're hammering the message home because it's really exciting. We've got some significant new preview material to talk about. We've seen GTA 5. We've seen a lot of different stuff that nobody has seen. We're talking about it on Thursday at 5 PM British Standard Time. If you're living in the States, check your conversion time for Eastern Standard Time, or if you're out in the West Coast, check as well. We'll be putting that on our Twitter feed at GTA VO Clock. You should not miss it. No other YouTube show has seen GTA 5. We've got the best analysis. Do not miss it.